And in my mind, I imagine, Robert, you're on one end of the driving range, Buck, you're on the other. And it's like love at first thwack. Like you both pull out the
Sure.
persimmon clubs and you're like, wait a minute, we're friends.
That's going to be the
Our
name of
first thing,
the name of our tell-all book one day is going to be called Love at First Thwack.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast. Jonathan, we just reconnected with some friends that we met through this thing called the Proper Golf Society. We got to hang out with Robert Brutz and Buck Bryant. What do you think about today's conversation?
You know, the fun part about this, and we've talked about a lot, how other than maybe one show, which I don't even know if we aired that show, but other than one show, there wasn't anybody.
We've aired every show we recorded.
That's right. There's one show, and you know, we're going to let you all decide which one that is, that we were probably like, I don't know if I want to play golf with these guys, but we're at 170-ish, 180-ish shows, something like that.
I haven't counted in a while. Yeah.
This is the first time that I think we've been able to play golf with someone and then bring them on the show. And once I realized who it was, because like you get a Gmail or whatever in the invitation, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be the best day ever. Because the round of golf that we played with them was fantastic. What their passion for original clubs and things like that, and the way they feel like golf should be played, not in the sense of should it be played with just these clubs, but from the perspective of it should just be a good time. And
whatever makes and allows you to have the most fun on a golf course, do that, because we have a limited amount of time. And so, they're maximizing that. They
live that out both on the course, and you're going to get to hear through the show that as well. Buck's storytelling is always impeccable. He can spin a yarn with the best of them. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this show as much as we have enjoyed the 4-hour friendship that we now have with them, and get to play with them again in about a month and a half. So
no, it's a good time. So anything and everything they do with the Proper Golf Society, I mean, they're based in Georgia, so it's probably gonna be in the Southeast for the most part, but they've got the 90s Compression Classic coming up at Aiken Golf Club at the end of July. And it's all 90s equipment, and you just go out and you play and you have a good time at a great golf course. And we talked about Aiken a little bit there, but they did a Persimmon and Blades tournament. That's where we met. So these guys are doing something fun, and highly encourage you to check out what they're doing. And they've been working with great brands, like our friends at Summit. The first one was sponsored by Fairway and Green. So we got to rock some nice Fairway and Green apparel. They gave some out as well. And then they're working with some others for different stuff. But our friends at Fairway and Green, Summit Golf Brands, they, the Fairway and Green, Beach Ratty, Zero Restriction, they're amazing. And they're doing stuff like sponsoring those guys with the tournaments they do. Obviously, they work with us. And if you want to grab some of that stuff, use Best Ball 20 at any of their sites, and you can get 20% off. So, Jonathan, any final comments before we launch into this episode today?
You'll never know where you're going to meet your next best golf friend. That's probably the thing that you really find with these two. And it wasn't on the golf course, so just keep looking. You'll find like-minded folks that love this game, and hopefully maybe you can find a best friend along the way.
Very well said. All right, well, here we go. Robert and Buck, y'all enjoy. All right, well, joining us today, our friends Robert Brutz and Buck Bryant of the Proper Golf Society. Guys, how are we doing today?
Doing good.
Oh, man, we hit record and immediately Robert leaves us. Who knows, man? He did say he had to figure out an alibi, and so maybe that was part of the thing. He was like, maybe not. Maybe I don't want to be a part of this thing. So
his T-Mobile hotspot's letting him down,
There you go. There you go. Well, Buck, I guess this is all about you then, man. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Just another Monday,
Yeah.
So can't complain.
Another Monday. Well, here comes Robert. We'll get him back in there. That's all right. He said your T-Mobile hotspot dropped you.
And on the ground out here sometimes.
Oh, y'all are in Georgia, which I guess Jonathan is as well. Jonathan's had his fair share of of internet and connectivity troubles.
Yeah.
He
It has
knows all
been
about it.
it's been resolved, I believe, at this point. Hopefully,
Well, that's
crossing
good.
my fingers.
We got to know you guys through an event that y'all do with the Proper Golf Society, and we want to talk all about these things. But like we do with all our guests, we got to hear the story, man, of how each of you guys got into the game of golf and when that started for you. So I'll let y'all do the coin flip, decide who wants to share your golf history first. Robert, Buck, y'all decide.
Buck, hit it.
I'll go ahead.
There we go.
So I was 15 years old, and we were at a family function at my uncle's house. He was a golfer. And we had all eaten lunch. Everybody's kind of laying around, letting the food settle. Well, my uncle's outside with a wedge and a 5-gallon bucket. And he's trying to ring the bucket. And I walk up to him and I said, "Do you mind if I give it a try?" He said, "Yeah, sure." So he kind of showed me how to hold the club. And probably on my 5th or 6th try, I rang the bucket. And so he was impressed. He was quiet about it. He didn't show too much emotion, but that was kind of all that was said about it. And then a couple months later, they come to visit, and he pops the trunk and gives me a set of golf clubs, a set of old PGA custom blades, and some Hogan persimmon woods. And I had a buddy who played golf, and he took me to the driving range, and I hit my first solid shot. And from then, I was hooked.
Those aren't the same clubs that you beat us with whenever we played with you a couple months ago.
It is not, but the Hogan 3-wood I have is a similar version. So, everything comes full circle.
Right. And you were
So-
striping that all day long.
They're fun to hit. Those Hogans got some pop to them, especially if you find the right one,
Well, you've taken that and you've obviously played a lot since age 15. You're only like 22 now, so
I'll actually be 45 on Thursday. So
There you go.
All right.
Happy
got a birthday right around the corner.
happy early birthday. Well, what has golf been like since then? You played through high school and you've just continued kind of the love of the game, playing for fun, right?
Oh yeah, I played on my high school golf team. Like I said, started at 15, but I had a couple buddies who were pretty good. And by playing with better players, your skills improve, a little faster than if you're just at it all on your own. I played high school golf from my 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade year. Started when I was 15. By the time I was 18, I got down to a 2 handicap. So I progressed quickly.
That's not fair, Buck.
Well, got to work with what you're given, I guess.
Yeah.
I had a couple small offers to some small colleges, but if I could go back and tell my young self to go to one of those schools, I would. Instead, I went to Georgia Southern and had a really good time. I was a 2.5-year freshman. That's as far as I got. So took a little hiatus from golf for about 6 years, and then just kind of picked it back up in my mid-20s and have just been hooked ever since.
Have you always played, because we'll get to this here in a little bit, but we played at a persimmon and blade tournament. Have you always played those types of clubs, or have you ever snuck into the modern technology world?
No, I'm solely modern for really up until about 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, I would every once in a while take out my high school driver, my 975D, and hit it around. If I ever took any buddies to the driving range, that would be the driver I would give them because I didn't really care anything about it. In retrospect, I wish I wouldn't. It's got some marks on it that I didn't put on there, I promise. But I very much played modern solely for that whole period of time. And I still play modern today, but I play much more retro these days than I do modern. So it's always fun taking the retro stuff out, especially in the little money game I play at UGA. Everybody's eyes kind of perk up when they see you pull the head cover off and you got some wood underneath. So it sparks a lot of interest.
Tell us about that. Is that a weekly thing that you're doing?
Yeah, they have it's called the Dog Fight, and it's just a little Stableford system pro shop credit money game you get in, and it's the best bang for your buck in Athens right now. You can always find a game, and you're always going to get paired with somebody at that Dog Fight. It's a lot of fun. Great way to meet new people too, make golf friends.
Have you converted any of your fellow competitors into persimmon players or blades?
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. And then when I'm on the driving range, living in a college town, I've always got young kids that they're looking over at me when I'm hitting, like that doesn't sound normal. And I talk every single one of them into hitting the persimmon. And they're like, oh, I've never hit a wooden golf club. I'm like, well, give it a try. And they're always amazed when they hit it solid, how well it performs. So I'm trying to spread the gospel out there the best I can. But when there's money on the line, people are a little bit more tentative to experiment.
The first thing I thought of is if you don't know who the sucker is, and if you can't spot the sucker in the first 2 minutes, you are the sucker. And in a golf game, if you're in a money game and the guy pulls out woods and blades, you are the sucker, because he's going to take your money every single time.
Well, I've done all right in the dogfight. It's a little sweeter when you're up there on the top of the pack playing persimmon. It's a little bit more gratifying. So
I love it. All right, so Robert, we've got Buck's story now of how he got into the game of golf. How about you, man? Were you 15 and somebody handed you a wedge and said try to make it in the bucket, or was your story a little different?
No offense, Buck, but I'm not an idiot savant like you at golf.
guilty.
I take it up the old-fashioned way. My grandfather was a big. He was actually a college football player and played in the NFL way back when they wore like leather helmets and stuff. And so he really wanted me to get started in a sport. So he took two old clubs, a persimmon wood and a blade 9-iron, and he literally just cut the middle out of the shaft and then welded them together to make a shorter club. I had those so he could save the grip. He didn't have to pay for a grip. He thought that'd be the cheaper thing, is the way my grandfather worked. So they were bent to hell and whatever. But I mean, he handed me those and I was probably like 3 years old, and I run around the yard whacking golf balls with them. And I've been in love with the game ever since. So I played a lot of, junior tournaments and got playing competitively when I was in middle school and high school and so on. But no, it was an early acceptance of my fate with the golf game.
I love it. And so we were asking Buck, and kind of he's done the modern stuff, but he loves pulling out the retro stuff, or the persimmons and blades and things like that. Like, how about you? Did you kind of make the shift as club technology was evolving, or did you stick with forged clubs that were put back together from grips and heads of clubs?
No. So I had I think I didn't hear everything Buck said because I was cut out, but I think we have some similar stories in that I had a golf hiatus for several years, and I goofed around in college and played with my buddies, but never anything too seriously. And then I moved to Europe after college for a couple of years and did my master's degree, and it was just golf was not on the radar screen. Like my dad and some buddies met me in Ireland one time when I was over there. He had to fly my clubs with him to Dublin to meet me from Paris so that I could play. So I didn't even know what was in my bag at that point, But that was in like the 2009, somewhere in there. And so there were several years I didn't play. And then when I came back around to playing again, the equipment had just really changed. And so you're looking at these 460cc club heads. And it's like, for me, the way that I grew up playing, that was a big jump for me. And just to be frank, I just never really got along with those heads. I felt like I was trying too hard to make them do what I wanted to do. And so, and my competitive days in my mind were kind of gone. So I just wanted to play what made me happy and what I could do with the ball, what I wanted. So I just kind of played with some of my older stuff and never really took any of the brand new equipment too seriously. And then on down the road, we could fast forward to meeting Buck, but he and I had a kind of a kindred, meeting of the minds, if you want to call it that, over this stuff. And so that's what kind of led us to this point with the Proper Golf Society.
Do you ever regret now that you didn't take your clubs whenever you had a chance to live in Europe and
Yes.
quickly go play all those internet? I mean, how many golf courses did you completely ignore for what, I'm guessing a year or two, right?
Oh yeah, a couple of years. I mean, you're talking about like, Le Golf National's right there. And then there's this like really cool public course outside of Rome. We actually went back and lived in Europe in 2019 for a summer with my wife and kids. And we were in Rome, and there was this golf course right outside of Rome. I just was like the perfect kind of like half set place. I just never brought clubs with me to Europe all the times that I lived there or went. So huge regret, but at the same time, it just is hard to describe. But you're in the middle of working, raising kids, doing school or whatever it is. And it just was not in the front of my mind to prioritize golf at that point. So I have happy memories from all those travels and all those experiences, but golf is not one of them.
Well, let me ask this. I want to know how you guys met. And in my mind, I imagine, Robert, you're on one end of the driving range, Buck, you're on the other. And it's like love at first thwack. Like you both pull out the persimmon clubs and you're like, wait a minute, we're friends.
That's going to be the name of our the name of our tell-all book one day is going to be called Love at First Thwack, but I'll let Bug give you the Reader's Digest version.
So it's kind of a serendipitous way we met. I'm in the pest control industry, and Robert, they signed up for pest control at their house, and the guy that usually services his area was out that day. So I got sent out to the house, and Robert's not there. His wife's home. As I'm going through the house doing pest control, I see a L8 golf bag in the corner. I'm like, okay, that's like my favorite golf bag of all time. So I just kind of mosey on over there to see what's going on in the bag, because you never know. So I see a set of really nice Mizuno MP11s, but the thing that really caught my eye was we had the same matching BB EFCO ferrules on our irons. I had the same ones that he had. And as I'm continuing to do the pest control, everything I see golf related, I'm like, this guy's got the exact same kind of taste that I have in golf stuff. So I talked to his wife a little bit about, oh, your husband's a golfer. And she's like, oh, yeah, he's such a golf nerd. Yeah, he loves it, blah, blah, blah. But I get done with the pest control and I get out to the truck and I send him a text. I said, hey, everything looks good. Got your pest control all squared away. By the way, your irons are sick. And I love those ferrules. And then we texted back and forth a little bit. And the next thing you know, we had a blind date that weekend. Never met each other, never seen each other. And we just met at the golf course and walked 9 holes in like the middle of July, in the middle of the day with a half set and persimmons. And we've been thwacking it ever since.
I love it.
It's the inception of the Proper Golf Society.
That's it.
That's right. Who knew pest control would bring us together,
Well, I want to know how many golf blind dates you've gone on because you've noticed guys' golf clubs. Like you're just wandering through houses going, hey, I'm going to send this guy a text. Hey, I really like this Callaway driver head you got there.
You can't always catch lightning in a bottle, That's right. You don't come across a lot of those scenarios. When I see golf clubs in people's houses, a lot of times they're probably got some cobwebs on them or there's some game improvement. It's not very often you find somebody with the exact same golf taste as you. So I felt comfortable extending that olive branch out to him, making that leap, if you will. I was shooting my shot.
I think I must have been in the wrong industry to stick around in golf because Robbie, didn't you end up getting a set of clubs from a guy because you were doing AC and you found like he had bags and bags and bags of clubs underneath the house.
Under his house, yep.
Yeah, and I think he gave him a set.
And then
Yeah,
Buck
you
had
should
somebody-
go to people's houses.
Buck had someone give him a putter last year, like a Scotty Cameron, that was just like, my husband died and I don't know what to do with this, but it sounds like you love it. Here's a Scotty.
Yeah, it's one of my customers I serviced for years. And her husband actually played on the golf team for UGA in the 70s. And his health was declining in the years that I did his service. And I'd always spend a little extra time there playing, just talking golf. And once again, the guy who normally services her house was out that day or couldn't make it by. I went out and her husband had passed away, and I wheeled her trash cans out for her and was just making small talk. And I saw this Scotty Cameron in the corner. I said, well, would you be interested in selling that? She said, honey, David loved you so much. You just take that putter. I want you to have it. So she said it would make him happy knowing that it was getting used. I offered to pay her for it. She wouldn't have it. And I told her, I said, I promise I'll never sell it. If you ever want it back, you know where to find it. So
I love
and
it.
I'll actually use that putter quite a bit. It's in my normal rotation.
Very nice. Well, Buck, I know you have you kind of tinker with a lot of things, but you kind of work on some of these clubs too. So Jonathan and I got to play in y'all's Persimmon and Blades tournament, and somehow we win the thing. I've got my Jones bag here in the corner, and thankfully Jonathan's left-handed, so I got to come home with two persimmon drivers because he didn't know what to do with a right-handed persimmon driver. So I'm holding here a power-built one. Now, I don't know if you worked on these things or if you just had them and gave them to me, and you might warn me not to hit it because it might fall apart. But tell me a little bit about your love for tinkering with these things and trying to put them back together.
I love finding something that's just beat up. One man's junk is another man's treasure. and it's amazing what a little sandpaper and a little bit of lacquer will do. Now I don't reshaft them yet. That's a little beyond my skill set, but I'm working on that. But a couple YouTube videos, you learn how to whip it, you learn how to, you know, kind of finish it up, and it's really nice taking something that's old and what some people would think is garbage and turning it into something that's really cool and able to use. So it's just a little side hobby. I go out to my shed back here, and it's almost like a Zen-like exercise, sanding all the bad juju off and trying to turn it into something beautiful again.
Gotcha. So you're saying I'm good to use this old power built one I got right here?
Hey, if it was good enough for Fuzzy, it's good enough for you. You know,
I love it.
I would like to clarify that the real reason Robbie has both of them is because I wouldn't know what to do with the left-handed one either, which was evident of the entire day of golf that we played. Robbie shot really well, and I just happened to ride in the same cart with him, so we ended up winning the tournament that day.
However, can I take a moment to interject real quick? We're just going to
we're
highlight.
going to be much more left-handed conscious going forward.
We're going to highlight. We're going to highlight for 1 second the greatest feat of athleticism I've ever witnessed in person, which was Jonathan.
I was about to bring that up
hitting
too.
a moving golf ball that fell off the tee mid backswing that he absolutely flushed and hit to about 4 feet. That was the closest to the pin. It was unbelievable.
That was more impressive to me than the putt you hit out of that bunker on the next hole. So it was great.
I think we've summed up my golf game. I usually miss the ball by so much that whenever it fell off the tee, it actually made good contact, and
It was amazing.
no idea how to get out of a bunker other than using my putter, which I will live and die by my putter in the bunker for at least a while. I'm still like pulling that one out of the bag. Plus, it's a fun party trick. Whenever you're shooting a 108 and you can't get off the tee box, putting it out of the bunker makes you a good guy to have around.
That's right.
Man, amazing.
Well, I think we learned that Jonathan needs to play golf more like kickball, where somebody's throwing the ball
Right.
to him and he just
Exactly.
swings it to. I mean, like a baseball swing, right? Like here
It's
it
like
comes.
taking batting practice from the side. They're just tossing the ball up and you just catch it out of the air. It's amazing.
That is true. No,
I
I
should
agree.
do-
It was one of the best shots I've ever seen, and thankfully he made the birdie putt too.
Is there a rule that you have to set a ball on a tee, or are you allowed to toss it up? Because I could give that a try. Like, I've never even thought about that.
Definitely doesn't
You
have
just
to
tell
be
your
on
playing
tee.
partner, just tell your playing partner, give me one slow and bouncy.
Yeah. For all proper golf society tournaments, I think it's going to be legal from now on. So, Robert, you have a Twitter account or an X account, I think, that has gained some pretty good notoriety in Thwack Nicholas. And so I wanted to ask you about that. Like, when did you create this, and what was the original intent behind it?
Well, this is the part where I just hide under the table in shame for having a Twitter account. That's crazy. So it's not very big, and I don't have any illusions that it is. But I was one of those guys. I've been on Twitter forever, and I never really commented on anything. I just followed a bunch of guys and didn't say anything. And I don't remember what the moment was, but it's all to do with the golf rollback and the USGA, and something just sort of like snapped in my head, where it was just like, I just started tweeting. I just literally picked up the phone and was like, no way, like pros should be doing this. Like a Major League Baseball players can play wooden bats and pros can play persimmons and so on. And, I know there's a lot of trickery, and probably a third of my followers are like Russian AI sex bots or whatever. But it's like, I think that there is hilariously an audience out there for really what we're doing. And it kind of came about because Buck and I have been playing persimmons and stuff together. And so that was kind of like where my mind was. And I just detest all the modern, the drivers in particular, but all the modern equipment. And so maybe it was kind of like rage tweeting or something, but all of a sudden there's like a couple of things that I tweeted kind of got like picked up by the algorithm and started running. And you're kind of like, wow, like I didn't expect to get, 100,000 impressions on a tweet about like, what if everybody just played the clubs that Tiger Woods won the 97 Masters with or whatever it was. And then, lo and behold, there's people out there. Then, and more than anything, it's become a fun conversation. I mean, I know a lot of people will say crazy stuff just to, for the social media imprints, but I've met a lot of interesting people. I'm in a conversation right now with a guy who's trying to teach me via Twitter direct messages about what equipment to buy to like grind my own wedges and grind some forged irons and try to make my own set of clubs. So there's a lot of people with a lot of knowledge out there that are willing to share it. If you can kind of get past the, burner verse facade of golf Twitter, which to me, I'm sort of adjacent to. I wouldn't really consider myself in that realm of Twitter.
Maybe you need to get in touch with the folks that are still trying to keep live golf alive and say, hey, since you're failing at regular golf, why
Yeah.
don't you guys start making them themed weekends so you could have like the throwback persimmons? You could
That'd
have
be
a
amazing.
week where they have to use a ball that was made before 1970. And then you could have, retro 90s like you guys are planning soon. But yeah,
Yeah.
theme. I'll tell you what, for it, I can't imagine, for one, the golf sickos and nerds and everyone else, that would be must see TV.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
then
100%.
the curiosity of everyone else going, wait a minute, what are they doing this weekend? That would be a blast.
Well, they got to figure something
So,
out. Not to get
tell
on a
us-
live tangent, but they don't. I mean, clearly the money does not add up. So we'll let them sort that out. But I do think, and that's kind of one of my regular shticks on Twitter is like, what happened like, if you just gave normal tour pros a bag of persimmon clubs, persimmon woods, and blades, and said go play this week, and they played one of the regular golf tournaments, like what would happen? And I think like the tour's never going to go for that, and the sponsor's never going to go for that, and like we're not
No.
delusional about that. And so Buck and I kind of said, well, why don't we just do these things ourselves? I mean, people, they like the old stuff, they're nostalgic for it. It's a different way to conceptualize the game. So we don't have to wait for the PGA Tour to give Scotty Scheffler a power built persimmon wood from the 80s. I mean, we can just do that ourselves. And the response to it, both on Twitter and other social media, and with people like you coming to play in the tournament and give us some attention, has really been kind of inspiring.
Well, let's talk about it, right? So the one we got to play with you guys right there outside of Athens, was that the first event, the first Persimmon and Blades event?
Oh
Sure
yeah,
was. It was our maiden voyage.
I love it.
It was
And
awesome.
Jonathan and I borrowed from our friend we were talking before about from Corey Retro Golf Clubs. His
Yep.
episode, we're recording this early June. His episode that we recorded with him is actually dropping this week. But Jonathan and I are thinking like, all right, Persimmon and Blades, like this needs to be all old clubs. So Corey was kind enough to let us borrow some, and we show up with the Persimmons and like probably 1980s blades. And then we're
Yeah,
like,
sure.
oh, just any kind of blades. It could have been new stuff like Robert and Buck have. And we have these giant, like huge blades, pointy end, like the standard twos, I think were what
Oh, yeah.
mine were. But
Oh yeah.
man, what a fun event. Like it was, golf doesn't have to be, like you said, the brand new stuff. Like try to do whatever, like be creative. I love the creative rounds, half sets like you guys were talking about. Like,
Yep.
has the response, because I know you've got another Persimmon and Blades event coming up here in a couple weeks, and then we'll talk more here in a second about the 90s Compression
Sure.
Classic. So the Persimmon and Blades event, what's been the response to the one you had and the one coming up?
So the one that we had, I mean, I'll let Buck speak for himself there, but I mean, I think the traction that we picked up with people through social media that were interested in it, and then the sponsorship coverage that we got from Summit Golf and from John Hayes is a pretty well-known custom persimmon builder, and a couple other folks was honestly kind of overwhelming. I mean, I think it really is what made the event happen. And so, yeah, I mean, like I said, it just kind of felt like we were building the airplane as we were flying it, but that allowed us to feel like we had some momentum going forward, which was great, And like I said, Buck, you can give your interpretation of that, but I was inspired by it.
Oh, totally. Like, I mean, I think the greatest thing is when we got done that day, just kind of the smile everyone had and the realization like, wow, this is fun. This is a different form of golf, but it's probably more rewarding when you're hitting those old clubs and you can, kind of make the ball do what you want it to do with that old technology. It's definitely a more gratifying experience. And I think that's what Robert and I have always kind of realized. And really, we're just trying to spread that experience with everybody else. You don't have to, at the end of the day, what you want to do with golf is you want to make it, it's a game. It's supposed to be fun. You want it to be enjoyable. So just do whatever makes it the most fun for you. So maybe we're just trying to open people's eyes to that and like there is a different way. So
Well, you mentioned make it fun, but the reality is we're all addicts to just punishing ourselves in one way or another, which is why we come up with the crazy games and the ways to do it. Because
yeah.
like you think about the amount of people that were there that maybe for the first time I had never in my life. I mean, you always talk about the phrase "hit it in the screws," and I had no idea what that meant because I didn't pick up golf until almost my 30s. Took 10
Yeah.
years off until just recently. So I had no idea that that was an actual thing, that whenever you look at a club, there's screws on the head. And if you don't hit it between those two, then you don't have a good golf shot. But it also makes the day, and again, exciting and fun because one, I remember Robbie getting in the cart going, I'm 150 yards out. I have no idea. I guess I'm going to hit my 3-iron because I don't know how far it's going to
Right.
go. I don't know
Right.
what it's supposed to do. Now, to be fair, he also grinded out at 81, so it wasn't like he had a bad day. But
No, he hit it.
that's
He hit
the
it great.
fun part of golf, right?
Yep.
Right, like you try to come up with different ideas and different ways to make it more difficult, which is why as you get better, you keep backing up as opposed to staying at a reasonable distance that you could with a regular golf club. Let's play the tips today because we're seeing if we can do it.
Yeah. I mean, whenever you do something hard and you accomplish something hard, it's way more gratifying than if you try to do something easy, you know? And that's the thing when you're hitting the shot that you're envisioning and you pull it off, but you're also pulling it off with a piece of wood on the end of a steel shaft. It's like, man, that was awesome. It's why I love it. I mean, sure, I play my modern stuff from time to time. And I actually had a scramble that I was playing in, and I knew I couldn't show up there with my persimmons. The guy would have been. So I took my
I did that
modern
one
stuff to the
time.
range. And I
I
was hitting
recommend
balls and
highly not doing that. Do not show up at a scramble with persimmons.
but I was ripping my 460 driver, and I mean it was like easy, and I just thought to myself, this is a soulless endeavor. There's nothing to this, And I was yearning to get I couldn't wait to be done with that scramble so I could get my persimmons back in the bag.
I-
So,
I think that's the idiot savant coming out in terms of this is so easy. Golf with a regular club is just like boring. And the rest of us are still trying to figure out a hard slice to the left or to the right if you're right-handed.
well, I guess that's a humble brag. Maybe not so humble, but
It's like,
but
this
I
thing
will.
just keeps going 325 every single time.
yeah. Where's the fun in that?
And I will say, on our behalf, I think one of the misconceptions about what we're doing that would be kind of like good to address is like, I think a lot of people take it from the perspective of like, oh, you guys are golf hipsters. And, it's like, oh, golf must be so easy for you. You just got to try this stuff to make it hard on yourself or whatever it is. It's really not about that at all. It's just about, you're searching for something different. I mean, I think American golf on the whole is just obsessed with hitting the ball really far, shooting the lowest score possible, and telling everybody what your handicap is. And there's just a lot more to golf than doing those three things. And you can accomplish that. So, like my set of clubs, I mean, I almost exclusively play with the persimmon blades now. And so it's like I have a very severe set of golf clubs. I mean, it's a persimmon driver, it's an old metalwood from the early 90s, and then it's a 2-iron 3 pitching wedge and a putter from the 90s. And it's like they are harder to hit, even for me, who's a above average golfer, than a modern set of clubs. And I'm not doing it because I'm too good to play modern clubs, but because when I hit that 2-iron right out of the middle, it's like Buck said, it's an amazing feeling. And I will go home thinking about that 1 2-iron shot 9 times out of 10 more than I will if I shoot 2 under par playing with all of my modern stuff. And that people are going to differ with me on that, but that's where my head is. I'm not playing competitive golf anymore. I mean, I play for fun. Buck and I play matches all the time with friends, but I'm not qualifying for the US Open like these guys are doing today. I'm not trying to win the club championship. I'm just out there to have a good time. And if I'm going to have a good time in the limited amount of space in my schedule to play golf that I have with 3 kids and a job and everything else, I'm going to do it on my terms, So we're just out there trying to find other people that see it the same way.
We're trying to maximize our enjoyment,
Right.
basically, So,
Well, and the reality is the 3 things you mentioned of hitting it far and shooting low and winning things, no one's good at that. Like we are
Right.
delusional as golfers when
Right.
we think about, I mean, I'll be honest, I've played a lot of golf with a lot of good people, and what I've realized is no one's good at golf.
Right.
Buck's good at golf, right? Let's get, but yeah, I mean, the number of people of all the folks that I've been around in and played golf and all that kind of stuff, there's so many times because I'm not that great. I just shoot mid-90s. It's whatever, right? I like to get better. That's fine. But I've seen a scratch golfer and everybody else that's supposedly the best one out there, and they shank a ball just the same way I did. They just did it do it as many
Exactly.
times. And so like the enjoyment factor. And the reality too is you can grind away and lose all your friends that like playing with you and lose all the sense of joy that
Right.
comes out of it because you're throwing clubs or angry and about stuff that you just shouldn't be. I
Yeah.
played with a kid the other day who's sort of getting into it. I think, he's trying to break 100 and he was getting angry. And I was like, you are not good enough to be angry. Like,
Right.
not even close. Like, you're like 30 shots away before you really should probably figure out how to be angry. This is just figuring one thing out after another and
Yep.
taking it nice and easy and thinking through how am I going to get closer to the hole on every single shot more than the 5-yard duff. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get down to a single digit handicap and you're still going to hit the 5-yard duff. And that's
Yeah.
okay. That's the way
Yeah.
golf works. But
And you're still,
yeah, I
and you're
mean,
still
at
going to
the
get
end of
mad.
the
You're going to
day,
get mad. Yeah.
that's right. But at the end of the day, it turns into something like this, where now you've got two guys that found each other by sneaking into someone's room, I think. That's a pest control guy. Don't
Close
have,
enough.
but now you guys are like best friends, and that's the point of golf, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh yeah. I mean,
100%.
that's the story.
100%.
That's the story here. And like I said, when Buck and I play, which regrettably is not as often as we'd like, but I'd say every maybe couple of weeks we get out there and squeeze in 9 or something. And like when we meet on the tee box, the first question is like, "What the hell do you have in your bag?" I mean, that's the fun of it for us. It's like, "Oh man, this was I bought this at Goodwill, and I kind of dolled it up a little bit or whatever." I mean, that is the part that we enjoy, and then we go try to beat each other. But it's not a vanity exercise and who's better than who. It's more like a shared enjoyment. And I was trying to explain early on when I met Buck, like to my wife, I was like, there is a part of me that you do not know, that you will never be able to know because of my deep love and knowledge of the game of golf that I have carried with me since I was like 3 years old and I had that first club. And like Buck is like one of the only people in the world that I can be on the same level with, where it's like, oh, that club from 1993, didn't it come with a stock shaft that was blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah? I was like, no one knows that but you and me that we typically talk to, but we do. And so we enjoy that part of the game. So we are after kinship and enjoyment. And like Buck said, maximizing that enjoyment way more than we are about vanity, scores, handicaps, distance, all that stuff. And so we're just trying to find as many people that are along for that ride with us. And surprisingly, we've found a lot, and it doesn't have to be like from our perspective, you don't have to play Persimmon Blades every single round you play in order to be doing what we're doing. It's just like, just try it. Just come and grab a set of clubs and go hit it around like you guys did with us. And you may go back and play your normal stuff and never do it again, but it's about having an experience, a memory, making friends, community. And this is just the angle that we're coming from.
It's also a built-in kind of excuse not to play well. I mean, some of your best golf experiences are when you have zero expectations.
Yeah.
Some of my worst rounds I've ever had are the nights that, I'm cleaning my golf clubs in the sink, listening to some smooth jazz, getting them ready for the next day, and just really amped. But you get out there and you play like dogs. But then there's days that you like, let me just throw in some of these $1 golf clubs I got from Goodwill that got $10 grips on them and just see what happens. And you go out there and light it up. It's just like low expectations equal better times a lot of times. So
I love it. I was talking with a guy at church yesterday, and he was notorious for always playing until probably a couple years ago. He played like 1993 DCI Titleist DCI irons, and
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to him because of course y'all's 90s Compression Classic was coming up or is coming up, and I said, man, you need to come check out what our guys Robert and Buck are doing over at Aiken Golf Club on July 27th. So tell everybody out there what's going to be happening that day.
Go, Buck.
July 27th, Golf Club, we are playing in the 90 Compression Open. So there's only one rule. Your golf clubs have to be from January 1st, 1990 through December 31st, 1999. You can play a modern ball, that's fine. But we just want to kind of highlight one of the, in my opinion, the golden years of golf equipment. The 90s were great. You could have a guy that had persimmon, steel, and titanium all in the same bag. So it kind of opens up the door for a lot more options. There was a lot of really wacky golf clubs from that time frame too, like Cleveland Bass irons or the Alien Wedge.
The Alien Wedge, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. And so we're trying to kind of broaden the horizon, let people have a little bit more leeway with what they're playing and just kind of celebrate, in my opinion, like the coolest time in golf. I mean, look at Payne Stewart, for example, in the 90s. I mean, he looked cool wearing the get up he was in. If you saw a guy now wearing that stuff, he looks like he's trying hard. Like there was just something effortlessly cool about these golf, and we're just wanting to celebrate that.
I don't know if I
So,
can find the clubs, but I do want to find an oversized polo so that I always have to like pull it up just like they did in the 90s. I'm trying to figure out if I can find pleated pants and
Yep.
some type of polo that's made of 100% cotton.
eBay
And
eBay is the
eBay.
place to go. I just got a nice like pale yellow polo golf shirt. They touch the elbow. I'm constantly having to do this, but that was part of the 90s golfer
That's
pre-shot
right.
routine is pulling the shirt up.
Yeah. Have
So,
you guys played Aiken Golf Club before?
I've played it one time. I actually got this flag right here above me from Aiken. So,
Nice.
and what a gem that place is. I
Right.
think Aiken is a prime example of what golf needs more of: affordable, interesting golf at a fantastic price.
Right.
I mean, we need more Aiken golf clubs in the world, and that's one reason that we kind of looked at Aiken for doing this event, because it's just a special place where older equipment is really relevant there, because it's not a long golf course.
Right.
You're not trying to play a 7,400-yard golf course. I mean, I think it's like 5,900 yards, but
From the
it's
tips, yeah.
yeah, but it's interesting, like the green complexes, the
Yeah.
condition, and plus Aiken just has a cool story too. It's had some transformation throughout the years, and the people that own it, the things they've done. I mean, it's just a really special place, and we want to highlight that as well.
Well, whenever they tell you that all the greens will break towards the railroad tracks for the first, I think it's 4 holes, believe it. I don't care what the
Okay.
read is. I don't care what you think is happening. It's going to go towards the tracks.
We'll be
Well,
listening for the train when we're
Yeah.
out there.
And if I can add just a
Yeah. It
little
runs,
bit more
it runs along that left side for sure.
if I can add just a little bit more approbation for Aiken Golf Club, Jordan, the club manager there, has been amazing to work with. He's made it really easy on
Yeah.
us. He's been really open to us and welcoming to our idea and easy to work with. And so we're actually going over there a week from today on Monday to meet him in person, get things started to be set up for July. And I'll get to play the course for the first time. So I'm very much looking forward to being over in Aiken next week. But yeah, I mean, Buck's been there, I haven't. I'm excited to be there. But from all accounts, it seems like a perfect fit for what we're trying to do. And we've got some local Aiken people that are already signing up to play with us, so we're excited about that too.
That's great. Don't forget your
Nice.
free piece of fruit at the halfway house too. You can get a free apple.
Okay,
Awesome.
very nice.
You
You gotta
talk
watch out
about
for the digestion.
needing more Aiken golf courses. I think that is an absolute true statement. Like, it's a public course. It is an appropriately priced course. I think that's fair.
Yes.
Like, that's the thing for me. Like, I don't care if you think you're worth $150, then you better be worth $150.
Exactly.
Right. There better be something about a hole or a green or something that makes it there. And if you think you're $90 during the week, I better not have a 6-hour round because you've booked too many tee times. But the Aiken, I've never felt at any point in time that I've played, and I've played there probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 times now. Even if I'm playing bad, it's an enjoyable round. Like, there's just
Oh, yeah.
enough uniqueness to the holes and the places and things like that they somehow wind themselves through a neighborhood without ever feeling like full neighborhood golf.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I'll have to check the calendar and maybe eBay to see if we can figure out some clubs to make it over to that tournament in July.
Get you some Dockers, pleated khakis.
Oh yeah,
it's
100%.
It's July.
Yeah.
You probably want to get the, pleats are making a comeback, so you can get some pleated shorts.
Pleated shorts.
How many people are y'all hoping for this tournament, and how are signups going so far?
So we've got about half the
We're-
field filled right now, and we're looking to have about 20 two-man teams. So we feel like we're close to 2 months out, a month and a half out, that we're in a pretty good spot as far as signups go. And, I'm learning about this business, there's a lot of, oh yeah, man, I'm totally there. I'll be there, and then you got to follow up, and then you got to follow up, and then you got to follow up. And so part of that is nerve wracking. Part of that is learning how to kind of massage those conversations and talk to people at the right time and all that. But we feel good about where we are. But Jordan there has given us basically like a 40-man slot for that Monday morning. So our goal as a sort of a fledgling enterprise here is to fill all 40 spots and have great prizes, have a great time, and make sure everybody walks away feeling like it was worth their energy and their money to be there. And then we're gonna pick up and look for the next thing.
Very nice. And I know you talked to, or you mentioned the other day in a text with me, you got some sponsors lined up. You want to give them a shout out?
Yeah, so we're working our kind of prizes that we're working with. We've kind of been jumping around, but Hudson Sutler is a sort of like a lifestyle luggage brand, and they've come out with a couple golf bags in the recent past. And so I bought one of their golf bags. I was lucky enough to snag one the day that they went live, and very few people got them because they sold out very quickly. But they're giving us some cool weekender bags that are branded for the tournament and for proper golf, as well as shoe bags for various winners. And then we're working with Summit Golf with Dan Drollinger on supporting us with some clothing items and stuff. I don't want to give away too much, but Dan mentioned to me in a text that they've got some old zero restriction stuff from the 90s that we might be able to crack out from the warehouse. So we're looking forward to the possibility of that happening too.
That's awesome. Yeah, the
Yep.
Summit folks are great. And, if I could just echo this for anybody out there listening, that we had such a good time
We
at the
did.
Persimmon and Blades event that highly, highly recommend you check out the 90s Compression Classic or anything else, whatever the next event will be with you guys, because again, it makes golf fun, and doing it with good people is what it's all about. And it's built relationships like this where we've gotten to know and hopefully get to hang out with you guys a lot more.
Totally. Well, we're trying, just if I might add, we're trying to work with Corey Creelan, Retro Golf. He's got so many. I mean, he just texted me before we hopped on here that Larry Bobka from Titleist was legendary club fitter, is trying to like give him like 14 boxes of clubs he's trying to get rid of. And he said he's just become like a dump or like repository for all people's old golf clubs, but he likes going through them all. And so what we're trying to do is work with him and have a big event in the fall where we provide all of the clubs to everybody in the field. So no one has to go looking for persimmon clubs and blades. They can just show up, grab a bag, left-handed or right-handed, hit the range, and then take off on the first tee. So our next persimmon and blade event, I think, will be have Corey heavily involved in it. We're looking forward to that relationship.
That's
Great
awesome.
idea.
Very nice. Well, as we start to wrap up, and we'll be sure to put links in the show notes for this event and for all the stuff you guys are doing.
Sure.
We have to ask, and you, Robert, referenced Jonathan's shot. That might be his most memorable shot now, but we want to know the story of each of y'all's most memorable golf shot.
All right, Buck, you want to go?
Sure. Yeah. Well, most people would reference a hole in one. So I do have I've only had one hole in one. It's an interesting story, but probably the greatest shot I've ever hit was during my golfing hiatus in college. I was with some buddies at a driving range, and the Georgia Southern golf team was over there practicing. And you've seen, I can get it out there pretty far. My buddies were just harassing me to mess with the golf team. I really didn't want to, but they just wouldn't leave me alone. So to shut them up, I started eyeing the guys on the range, and I found the guy that hit it the farthest. There was a net that's 300 yards at the end of the range, and he was bouncing his driver into this net time and time again. So I walked over there to him and I said, "Hey man, that's a nice driver you got there. I bet you I can hit my 3-wood farther than you can hit that driver." And he just kind of blew me off and was like, "Whatever." And I said, "All right, I'll tell you what, $20, I'll make it fair. I'll give you 3 shots to my 1." And so then his teammates were like, "Take this clown's money, take it." So he hits all 3 balls right into this net that's 300 yards. And I was kind of sweating bullets for 2 reasons. This is like the year 2000. I can't hit a 3-wood 300 yards. And I didn't have $20 on me either. So I don't know if it was adrenaline or the grace of God or what, but I hit the best 3-wood of my life, and it flew that $300 net. 300-yard net. And everybody's jumping around and like going crazy. I'm still in my pose, just like I'm going crazy on the inside, but I'm trying to keep composed. And I just turn to him and say, "Will that be cash or check?" So that is my greatest golf shot I've ever hit in my life.
The driving range greatest shot. That's amazing.
I did have a hole in one. There was another good, but that's another story for another day. But
I love it.
No,
Robert, how
man.
about you?
I don't know how to follow that up, Buck. I mean, seriously.
Right. You should have gone second for sure.
Exactly. No, mine. We were talking earlier about how, at least for me, my pursuit of golf is more about experience and not about score. And so I was fortunate enough to go to Scotland for the second time a couple of years ago. We had a COVID trip planned, and it just kept getting bounced and bounced, and we finally went in 2020. Uh, and we were playing North Berwick, much talked about golf course, obviously. In the 16th hole, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go Google it because you'll see about 1,000 images that are drone shots of this unbelievably crazy looking Biarritz green that's there. And so it's up in the front, it goes down in the middle in this valley, and it comes back up in the back. And so the wind's blowing. It's just a perfect Scottish day. And I've got like 150 yards. It's blowing straight into me with the flag in the back. And I hit a 5-iron from 150 yards, and I just flushed this 5-iron. I mean, it was just truly just flagged it, you know? And so it lands about a foot from the flag and runs about 10 feet by. And I'm feeling real good about myself, and I'm real happy. And, they make a lot about Scottish people with their dogs and the golf courses. And so this local guy is walking by as I'm walking up to the green, and he looked up at me and he said, "That was a right proper shot, laddie." And that literally just made my entire trip. I mean, I'll never forget that. Just some stranger, and he didn't even know he was watching, and he saw it, and all of that love for that one shot. It was awesome. So probably the greatest golf shot I've ever struck.
Man, a Scotland golf shot is way cooler than a driving range in Statesboro, Georgia. Let me tell you.
I don't know. You didn't have the $20 on you. That might be my favorite part of that story.
Exactly.
And you couldn't hit a 3-wood.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, another thing we like to do, just a little back and forth for both of you here, what we call the quick 9. So the first question, what is the favorite course that you've ever played?
You
want me to go? That is a really hard question to answer. It's like, what's your favorite kid? But if I had to pick one, I would say Sweetens Cove. It's just a really, really cool place. And I've been to a lot of great courses, but it is truly the only course that has truly lived up to the hype. You know what I mean? Like everything that was promised was delivered.
Yep.
So Sweetens for me.
For me, it's Carnoustie. It's just this big giant behemoth of a links course with all the history, and Hogan's Alley and Tom Watson winning in 75. And I mean, John Vandeveld in the burn. I have a picture of myself standing in the burn where he chunked it in there. So just history is a big thing for me. So being on a course where all that happened, and the caddies were great. Perfection.
Awesome.
All right. What course then is at the top of the bucket list?
St. Andrews for me.
Augusta National. I'm from Georgia. It's got to happen.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I'm just like, at least I got a chance to get into St. Andrews. You know what I mean? So, but hey, I guess never sell yourself short. You never know what could happen. You could hit a 300-yard 3-wood. So
you take your blades and persimmons over there, especially half set. 1, the caddies are going to love you, and 2, your ball's going to roll out for days.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully I'll make it there one day.
You never know who your next pest control client will be.
That's right.
That's a great point. Great point.
All right. What is your favorite course that no one knows about?
I would say it's a course not far from here. It's called Arrowhead Point.
That's a great place.
It is a Georgia State Park golf course. Yep. It's out in the middle of nowhere, right on Lake Russell, and there's never really a lot of folks out there. It's so quiet and peaceful when you're on that back 9 on the lake, and it is also a fantastic persimmon golf course. Yeah, if it was a little closer to me, I would play it every weekend. But it is a well-kept secret that I think more people should go visit.
The golf is priced right. The hot dogs are stupid expensive. That's the only thing.
Can't have it all.
They are expensive. I think it was like $8 or $9 for a hot dog.
It's probably the best hot dog on Lake Russell, though.
It was the best hot dog at Arrowhead Point.
All right, mine is the course that I grew up playing junior golf on in Florida. It's Spessard Holland Golf Course. If you've not heard of it before, just look it up. It's a par 67 Arnold Palmer design that is just sandwiched between the Intercoastal Waterway and the Atlantic Ocean in Melbourne Beach, Florida, my hometown. It's awesome. Wind's always blowing. All Bermuda, tough, perfect persimmon course, half set course, 1 par 5 on the whole thing. It's just, you want to play a round of golf in 3 hours, enjoy yourself, have fun with your buddies. That's the place to go.
Nice. All right. Who's in your dream foursome?
Can they be dead or alive?
Yeah. It's your dream.
Foursome.
All right. Well, I got Arnold Palmer would be number 1. Charlie Hull, because why not? And Spencer Levine, which is kind of a oddball take, but I love, kicking his visor around, smoking cigarettes out on the course, and he's just an absolute flusher. He's not scared to play some old stuff too. So I think that would be a great day on the course for those three.
Seve Ballesteros, probably my favorite golfer of all time. Freddie Couples, I've just always admired his golf swing and attitude, and I've just loved to play one round and watching him flush every shot. And then I got to go with Joanne Carner. Y'all know Joanne Carner. She's an old LPGA pro that just still tries to play in the U.S. Women's Open and smoke cigs every round. She's amazing. She's like one of the original LPGA tour players. And she's just amazing. I would just love to pick her brain for 4 hours.
That'd be a good group. All right. What has been your favorite snack at the turn?
I love a good cold Uncrustable. Strawberry, preferably. I'll get down with grape too, but a nice frozen Uncrustable is hard to beat.
It's hot dog, Lay's potato chips, and Snickers bar in a mellow yellow.
A mellow
Ooh,
yellow.
Mellow yellow.
Okay. For my child,
that seems like that should be the sponsor of the '90s classic. Yeah.
That may be what it is. My golf
Mellow
course
Yellow,
I grew
if
up
you're
on was like
watching
a $2 green fee, and then I had $3 to buy like a hot dog and a Mellow Yellow for 50 cents out of the machine, and then I just took off for another 18.
Oh,
I love it.
Mellow yellow.
All right.
I'm kind of on the Mellow Yellow right now.
Yeah.
I know. I know. Robert, we'll start with you on this one. Favorite golf course logo?
Favorite golf course logo? Honestly, just the Ping Man will forever live with me as one of the coolest, just unique golf logos. You know what it is right when you see it, and it just screams classic golf from the 80s and 90s.
That's a good answer. I like that.
Buck, what you got?
I'm going to go with the Fields golf course and the Mule. It's just it's just a good one. What else do you say? It's just a really nicely done logo.
Yep. All right.
And a Georgia course too. So I'm staying true to my Georgia roots.
And the logo was done by Seth McWhorter, a Georgia guy.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, he did a great job.
All right. We'll start with Robert again. Robert, what has been your favorite pro shop purchase?
I bought a visor at Carnoustie last time I was there. That seems to be the purchase that I use the most often, where I go in and buy something and then it just sits on a shelf, or the hat didn't fit right, or the putter cover was for a blade and I'm using a mallet or whatever. So the classic Imperial visor from Carnoustie is like my most used and most appreciated golf course purchase.
Buck, how about you?
I love a good visor, but and I've got a lot of them. But probably my favorite is a putter cover from Old Town Club in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That is where Krispy Kreme donuts originated, and they have a Old Town putter cover that looks like the box of a Krispy Kreme donut.
That's awesome.
And yeah, that's definitely it's pretty sweet. Pun intended.
There it is.
All right. I'm curious to y'all's answer for these next two, but this one, Robert, we'll start with you. What is one thing golfers should do?
Golfers should play golf in a way that maximizes their enjoyment of the game, not in pursuit of scores, distance, vanity, or anything else. So I make a big kind of a to-do on Twitter of kind of prescribing about how pros should play with persimmons and blades and all that, which admittedly is like a little bit, I feel passionately about that, but it's a little bit of a shtick for Twitter and social media. But at the end of the day is like, man, just do what is right for you. Just play golf in a way that is fun for you and fun for your friends, and that you will look back and enjoy, and not for any other reason. So do it for fun.
How about you, Buck?
I got to echo what Robert said. Maximize your enjoyment. Play golf to have the best time you possibly can. The whole point of being out there is to have a smile on your face. It should be your getaway, your therapy, if you will. Do whatever you can to make it the most fun you can have, and just don't take it too seriously.
That's good.
Very nice.
Good advice here. All right. The last one. Finish this sentence. The best part of golf is
making friends. Simple as that.
Yeah, man. Making friends. That's what it's all about, I mean, some of the best relationships that I have been because of golf. So enjoy the pit time you have with the people you are with out there.
We completely agree with that, and we are very thankful that we are friends with you guys through the game of golf, right? Like Persimmon and Blades event brought us together, and yeah, excited about the next time we can all hang out and play some golf or just get together doing something like this. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Well, for Robert and Buck and Jonathan, this is Robbie, and you all have been listening to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast.